Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse Podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
I'm ready to have fun, guys. Ready to fun.
Oh, God damn. And Terrence.
What's up?
Again, if you could hear the stories that we talk about pre-show, they are ridiculous. All right, we are back. There is not a lot to talk about, but we will be the professionals that we are. We will stretch it out. Checked out this week. There is a review by the time you go to listen or watch this episode. There is a review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that Mike and I did. This is a spoiler-free review. Later next week or later this week, a spoiler review will come out. So we'll discuss all the themes and all the sort of extra stuff all about it. But this review is a spoiler-free review. So check out Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Terrence, you watched Dungeons and Dragons, as I know you are a longtime D&D fan.
Tabletop and all that other whatever. I can't even make that.
Roll for initiative.
I don't even know what that means. but yeah, I checked it out. It became available on digital. I checked it out the other day. It's good. It's actually very good. It reminds me of like when the Marvel movies were hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah.
You know, like when everybody loved them. Mainly Guardians of the Galaxy, kind of.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, it's good. It's a basic story. This guy, he's a thief or I don't forgot what he is.
A bard?
Yeah, he's a bard, but they call him something.
Taylor?
I forgot. It's something. Whatever the fuck it is. And he's got to try to save his daughter, and along the way, he meets these other thieves, and they go on this adventure. And shenanigans ensue. This movie is hilarious.
Really?
Like, it's very funny. As I was watching it, I had to look at the budget because I had no idea how much the movie cost. It's a $150 million budget.
Wow.
Because it's a $150 million budget, but like it's on the screen. Like, it looks really good. Like the visual effects, they have a lot of digital effects and practical effects. And I'm like, this movie looks really good. I didn't think it had that big a budget. And it does.
I'm shocked to hear it has a $150 million budget. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, what was that trash movie that The Rock did? Black Adam. That movie had like a $250 million budget, almost $300 million budget.
Yeah.
This movie looks 10 times better than Black Adam. It's a better movie than Black Adam. Everyone in it knocks it out of the park. Chris Pine is just basically playing Captain Kirk. He does his regular shtick. Michelle Rodriguez is doing her regular like tough gal thing. Justice Smith does a really good British accent.
Oh, really?
It's very odd. He's a very good actor. He's just got a weird voice. And the chick that plays, I think she plays the druid, Sophia Lillis from It, the redhead. And she was fine, but the action sequences are like really cool. There's this one sequence where she's transforming, because she can transform into basically any animal that she wants to, and she's escaping a castle. This sequence is really dope. Like, where did this movie come from? Because I remember when the trailer came out, and I'm like, this looks kind of cool. I wouldn't mind watching this. But and then once it came out, everybody was like, yeah, this movie's really dope. And I'm like, is it really as good as they're saying? It is. It's one of the better movies I've seen.
Yeah. I mean, the reviews were super high, like into the 90s, and then like the fan reviews were super high too. People like really loved it, and it was funny because initially people were like, "Oh, this looks really silly," and then people who people play D&D is like, "Have you ever played D&D?" Like, it is silly. Like, that's the whole point. You can make it whatever you want. So.
It's very good. Like, you guys I think both of you would actually really enjoy it. There's this one scene, I'm not going to spoil it, but there was one scene I literally had tears in my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
Okay.
Like, there's one scene in a graveyard, which is very funny, but then there's a scene that like I don't think anyone has seen in like a trailer or anything like that. It's fucking hilarious. It's It's funny. Like
this really makes me happy because Terrence is the type of person that likes to laugh, but you gotta earn that laugh, Like you not,
really
like
did.
Terrence is not. Yeah, he's not the type of guy that's just like gonna laugh at anything, right? Like you gotta
I don't
earn
find a
that
lot
laugh.
of shit funny.
Right.
But yeah, the scene was fucking like it was just so random. It was the randomness of it. I don't know, man. It was so goddamn funny. It caught me off guard to the point where I was laughing so hard I started hurting. Like because I had to pause it to calm down because I'm like, yo, I'm going to bust a gut. But I have an issue which is causing me to like when I laugh really hard it hurts. But yeah, it was really fucking funny.
Okay,
it's a great movie. Yeah. Like it's just a fun movie. Like I honestly, you both I think would really like it.
Yeah, it's definitely on. Eventually, when I get to watch anything, again.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list. I mean, it's a great thing when other sort of nerd IP does well, and this is such a very specific nerd IP. So I'm happy for like D&D fans that they finally got something that was really great.
I think it could easily be a franchise. I don't know how much money it made. I don't know if it did well enough to do a sequel, but it deserves it if they wanted to do one, at least one more with the same cast.
Okay, yeah, I'll look it up. I'd be interested to know as well.
I also saw Renfield.
Oh yeah, how was that?
Renfield has two storylines, right? There's the storyline with Renfield and Dracula, which is very good. It's like a toxic relationship. Like Dracula's kind of a dickhead to this guy. He's gaslighting him. And then the B story with Awkwafina.
Wait, what's the B story with
Awkwafina's a cop, right? Awkwafina's a cop, and she's helping. Renfield actually has to help her take down like this drug cartel.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't like this.
Like the action sequences are dope, right? They're really good. The acting is fine. Funnily enough, Nicolas Cage isn't out of control. Nicolas Cage. He's kind of subdued, which is bizarre because he's playing fucking Dracula. But he has like one or two moments where he does this, like Nick Cage is out. But overall, it's kind of a subdued performance. The Awkwafina story just kind of fucked it up for me. I mean, that story ended up being like it kind of blended together at the end. But yeah, I would have rather they didn't do that. Like honestly, I still enjoyed it, but like that kind of fucked it up for me. I watched it for like the action and Nicolas Cage, and Nicholas Hoult was also he's very good. He's good in anything he's in.
Yeah, he pretty much is. I didn't care for him as Beast, but that's not really his fault, honestly.
Yeah. Would I recommend it? Sure, I'd recommend it. You like Nicolas Cage, Micah? Right? I'd check it out. If you like,
and I don't necessarily need Nicolas Cage to be like nobody appreciates Nicolas Cage because they all, every time they think of Nicolas Cage, they think of like A, B, C, D, E, right? Like they think of that shit. Right, right. Like they think of that stuff. And Nicolas Cage is more than just that. Like he's a weirdo, right? But he's like, I say this all the time, man. Nicolas Cage is in an industry full of professional liars. Nicolas Cage is one of the few 100% genuine people, and all that weird shit. That's him, That's him. Like he didn't want to do the movie with him and Pedro Pascal. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. He didn't want to do that at first because he thought that the filmmakers were going to be making fun of him, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's an artist. He's sensitive about his shit, right? But he's serious about all this shit. And they were like, no, seriously, we really love you. We love your work. Like, and that's why he did it. Like he took a look at the script again and he was like, yeah, this is dope. And
I like that movie.
I like that movie too, man. Yeah. Like Nicolas Cage is not he's not some wackadoo. Like he's trying, right? Like he's really giving it his all. It may not work, but he is swinging. And it could be the biggest whiff in the world, or it could be a home run. Like that's it for Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, I don't think he knows how to play medium.
He did all of those ridiculous movies to fucking get out of debt. So now he's like not in debt anymore. Like he said he's always wanted to play Dracula, and he got the chance to do it. And yeah, he played him like the old school, like the old,
of course,
30 whatever the fuck at the original Dracula.
It's fucking Boris Karloff and shit.
Yeah, whatever, man. Yeah. It's I like his performance. Nicholas Hoult was fine. Awkwafina, she fine, whatever. She does her whole thing that she does. It's fun, but I just didn't really like the B story. It was kind of it's kind of corny.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's get into topics this week.
Okay, so a sequel to the 2002. Wow, it was only 20 years ago, guys. A sequel to the 2002 romantic comedy Juwanna Man, famously starring DJ from Street Fighter, is in the works. According to DJ, who spoke with TMZ about the possibility of reviving the classic film, despite many of the changes made in today's society, not only is a reboot possible, DJ said, "We are going to do it." That is a quote. He said he couldn't give out the plot details yet, so who knows if this is actually going to get done. But he agreed that creating a sequel to the Jesse Vaughn directed movie was complicated for many reasons. Yeah, no shit. Nunez is absolutely confident that members of the LGBTQ community and the WNBA would embrace the upcoming project. Quote, "They did with the first one. They'll definitely do it with the second." No, look, the WNBA might.
I don't recommend this. I wouldn't do it. Not in this climate.
Was he like 60? He said he's like 60-something years old or some shit like that.
Like, we all realize this is a really bad idea, right?
He is 58 years old.
He's 58. Okay.
I mean, look, it depends on how you do it, right? It depends on how you do it, right? Like,
yeah, you go ahead and explain to me how this is going to work.
We can't be mad at drag story time, right? And be mad at this.
No,
we can't.
No, I'm not saying I would be.
I'm not saying.
I think this might not be a good idea. That's what I'm saying. This might not be a good idea.
What was the story in Juwanna Man? He was kind of trash in like the NBA, and then he dressed up as a woman to play in the WNBA.
Yeah,
is that what it was?
Broke, jobless, and homeless, Jamal goes to live with his no-nonsense Aunt Ruby, the only woman that's willing to put up with Jamal in spite of his outrageous antics. Lacking any other sort of skill, he decides to dress up as a woman named Juwanna Man to play for the Charlotte Banshees of the WUBA, a fictionalized WNBA. Okay, yeah, this is probably, I see what you mean now. This ain't just dressing in drag. This is the trans. Woman, yeah. This is the trans in sports issue. Like that's what this is.
But it's deeper than that, right? Like, I hadn't even thought about that particular aspect, but it's just a man impersonating a woman, which is going to seem like and even though you're not, it's going to seem like you're making fun of trans women. Like, that's not, dude, don't do this movie. Like, I don't recommend it. I really don't.
Yeah, Tommy Davidson. I remember. Okay, yeah, it's starting to come back to me now. Yeah, Tommy Davidson was like trying to take him out on a date and shit like that. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
You can't do stuff like that, right? Like, you definitely can't do stuff like that.
What's the plot of this gonna be?
Right,
in 2024.
Did he decide that he's actually trans throughout this and now is living as an actual woman and not pretending to be one for comedy?
Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Don't do this.
What happened at the end of the first one? I don't remember. I don't think I've seen the entire movie.
I've never seen this movie. Don't do this.
I've never seen this movie.
Don't do it.
There's no way I was going to see this movie.
No.
It just looks. It's called Juwanna Man. Like the name is a pun. Like I don't like it. There was no way I was going to support this movie. Afterwards, Jamal is called for a hearing with the NBA's commissioner board. Despite a genuine apology and assurance by himself and someone named Lorne that he has changed for the better, the board is still unimpressed due to the Juwanna Man scandal. And it initially appears that Jamal's career is truly over. In the nick of time, his former WNBA teammates show up to successfully vouch for him to be brought back into the NBA. And Michelle gives him a championship ring and a kiss. So he goes back to their version of the NBA. He's reinstated. So it's basically, what's that dude on the Grizzlies that was like, I like to poke bears, and then the fucking bear bit his ass out of Memphis. And
I don't watch sports.
Oh yeah, you don't watch sports. That's fine. No. That's fine.
This is a bad ending.
Nah.
So what's going to happen? There's going to be another, because he's in the NBA and now he's old. So what happens now?
Yeah, so he's got to be a coach, right? This nigga's not going to be on a court. He's 60. Right? That doesn't make sense.
He's going to coach for the Banshees. He's going to coach for the Banshees. There you go.
Yeah, so who's going to be the one dressed up as a woman?
His son.
Juwanna Man Jr.? I don't recommend this as an idea for a movie.
This is like in all seriousness, this is just a bunch of this is walking in a minefield for no reason.
The reason is he hasn't done a movie in fucking 20 years.
And quite frankly, I don't believe that this is going to.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. I can't think of the script where someone's going to be like, yeah, do that.
That would be insane.
It doesn't make any sense. Not right now. And they'd be like, yeah, this is hilarious. Because it's going to be a comedy. I don't think people are going to find it funny. They're going to be like, okay.
Okay, here's the only way this could possibly work. If somehow a woman poses as a man to play in the NBA, then maybe you could pull it off. But even then,
possibly. I mean, if you
like that could be the way you could reverse it, right? Here's a woman who wants to play, for some reason can't play in the WNBA, or just think she's good enough to, because the NBA is actually technically an open league, right? Like you can play as a woman. There's just no women who can play on that level, unfortunately. But
so who would you get?
I don't know. Cheryl Swoops. What's she doing?
Brittany Griner. She's young. She's in her 20s. She's 7 feet tall.
I
mean,
I don't recommend this.
Like, look, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but have you heard Brittany Griner talk? Have you heard her voice? Yeah, she sounds like she could be.
You beat me to it. You beat me.
Sounds like she could be in the NBA. I'm serious, and I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like when I heard her talk, I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
I had to do a double take when I heard her talk.
Shocking to me when I heard her talk.
Quite frankly,
I thought it was a nigga. I just did.
Quite frankly, I'm very jealous. I'm very jealous at the fact that she has that low ass, like she does have a dope voice. Like
she got a dope voice, but like
she does
threw me for a fucking loop when I heard her talk.
I couldn't believe it when I first heard it.
What the fuck? Like she sounded like a nigga. I'm sorry. So like if you're gonna that makes sense. If you're going to do the opposite, I think people would be more accepting.
I think so. Yeah. I don't see how you cannot have a guy dressed as a woman playing in the WNBA. That is a disastrous idea. It really is. I think largely people don't even think in the trans issue, and I'm not saying this is an okay thing, but I don't think they ever think about trans men, like women transition to men. Like that, right. It's just not generally a part of the conversation, which is weird, but I kind of understand why, because people are assholes. But I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying I understand that silly mindset. Yeah. But I think that's the only way that you could do it is like a young girl who's just like she's super good. And she's like, you know what? Fuck that. I can play in the fucking NBA. And somebody's like, no, you can. She's like, yes, I can. And she fucking does it and like pretends to be a guy. Like you can do the Mulan thing, but you can't go the other way. Like, no, you got to Mulan this
way. That's the only way you could do it. That's the only way I could see where they would. But then you got to get somebody who can act.
Yeah, and by the way, that'll be Nunez's like daughter, right? Like that's going to be the thing. Is she's going to infiltrate the NBA? He's not going to. Well, he'll know, and he'll be like, "Ooh, I don't think you should do this," and she'll be like, "You did it," and he'll be like, "You're right. Let me shut up." And then he'll be like, "Yeah, all right, go ahead, play with the boys." That's the only way. Look, I recommend making another Air Bud movie before I recommend making this movie. There's less controversy in a dog playing basketball than doing this. Like, this is just not working.
So you don't support trans people in sports, Jay? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, okay, let's go there. All right, no thank you.
Yeah, that's a.
No. I support Air Bud 4 or whatever the fuck movie that is. Like, no. I just think it's a bad idea. Like you said, this is walking in a lay-in-mine field for no reason. Nobody wants a Juwanna Man sequel. Stop it. Like,
no one asked for this shit.
Nobody asked for it.
Like 23 years later, like 21 years later.
Nobody asked for the first one either, man. Like,
no.
Like, seriously,
really
yo, like, it's a stupid like concept, in my opinion. And I just, and the fact that he's like
money back. Like, just lose more money, nigga. Like, come on,
right? It was a failure, right? Like, it was, and the fact that he's like, oh yeah, we're doing it.
Nah,
I mean, you're not because you don't have any plot details yet. It's like, well, I can't give out plot details because there's no plot, because there's no movie. Like,
this is now because of the writer's strike. That's why we have a hard time. Like, okay, buddy.
Like, this is one of those things where it's like, I'm just going to throw this out there and see if people pick up on it. And if they really want it, then, like, see, everybody's clamoring for Juwanna Man 2.
No one wants Juwanna Man 2.
I just don't recommend this. I really don't. Again, just make another Stallone movie. It's a safer bet. Like, it just is.
I don't want to do this on black cinema either. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm a fan.
Look. You read my mind because I was like, you know what? Maybe we should delve into what the fuck was happening in Juwanna Man in 2002. Now, I don't want to do it either, honestly, because that means I have to watch it, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
You know,
it's got Genuine in it, for God's sakes.
It does, in fact. Little Kim is in this movie. And as you mentioned earlier, Tommy Davidson is in this movie as the character, I kid you not, Puff Smoky Smoke. Yeah, I can't wait to not watch this movie. Great, guys. This sounds great.
You know what? Right. Yeah, no.
Don't do it.
None of these people are going to come back. Maybe Vivica Fox says she needs work. But
Vivica Fox would. She ain't got nothing going on.
She played Two Can Play That Game 3.
Yeah, no. Vlade Divac. Yeah, there was a bunch of NBA players in there. Like Vlade Divac, Dikembe Mutombo, Muggsy Bogues. Yeah, no, man, don't do this. Don't, no, stop it. Knock it off. Miguel. Like, no one wants to see this. No. You're just gonna, you're gonna poke a bear, like Mike said. Some people ain't gonna give a fuck. Some of the trans community just not gonna fucking care. They're just not gonna watch it. But then you're gonna get the vocal ones.
They're gonna light your ass up.
They're the ones that are gonna, the ones that are represented on television. You know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Continue.
Oh, you mean
all right?
Do you mean white women? Got it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with trans folks at all. I just think that this is the worst climate for this type of movie. It's not going to be taken in the way that you think, even if you're trying to be innocent about it. It's not.
And it's probably not going to be funny.
Also, that
right.
I'm a man. Woo, I'm playing basketball like a girl. Like, all right, yo, come on, yo, knock it off. I wear dresses and different types of shoes. Like, all right, we got it. It's 2023. Can you believe it? Like, also, I have to say, maybe this is overdue. Miguel Nunez, not a good-looking woman. Not convinced. Sorry, not convinced.
I'm telling you, I kind of want this to happen because I'm curious to see what the argument is going to be.
Nigga, the backlash will be hilarious. Miguel Nunez, what? I thought this was okay.
And I really think, there is an issue with trans women in sports, and this is a very delicate situation. You know what I mean? It's not cut and dry, but it's not. Yeah, is this movie going to talk about that?
No,
I feel like
not.
I feel like
they're going to have the nuance.
I feel like somebody's going to talk about it.
Yeah, you would have to make. Okay, if we're making if we're making a Juwanna Man sequel, what a fucking ridiculous sentence that's out loud. If we're making a Juwanna Man sequel, you would have to pivot that story to something rather serious, right? One of these sort of comedies, but with a good sense of morality and shit like that, where it is okay, this Juwanna Man character is hey, I'm 60 years old now, and my daughter is trans, my daughter is a trans woman, and she wants to play in the WNBA. What is that conversation like and stuff like that? And here you have this character defending that character, look, but they're well, back in the day you lied, and it's yes, I did, and I learned a lot through that lie and what women go through and all that. You would have to make it a serious, dramatic movie. This is starring Miguel Nunez and Tommy Davidson as Puff Smoky Smoke. Not really the movie that you need to make. Don't do this. That's dumb. By the way, a dramatic Juwanna Man sequel would actually be quite clever. That would actually be clever, but they don't have the balls to do that.
I don't think they don't have the balls. They would have to do the research to make it a little bit more believable than just oh, my daughter's trans. Now, when you say trans, you mean male to female, and that one, and
male to female, and then wants to play professional,
and then wants to play in the WNBA.
Yeah, because that's where the big issue is.
That's where the argument is.
Right. It's never female to male.
No.
It's always male.
It's almost
female.
never that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So and there's a reason for that because biologically, it all depends on when you start transitioning.
Yep.
To me,
absolutely,
look, we're not experts, but it all depends on when you start transitioning. If you're transitioning in your 20s, right, and you say, "Hey, I want to play in the WNBA," you've been a man for 20 plus years, and then all of a sudden you want to transition. It's going to take a little bit longer for you to transition until I feel like you need to have transitioned for at least 2-3 years because you have to, there are some women that can play men and beat them, but this is top tier. NBA players are fucking top tier, or WNBA players are top tier. So
right. It's the same, but it's the same thing. Before the WNBA, and I assume the NBA is still like this. A woman can play in the NBA. There's no gender rule. There's just not a woman who can play at fucking Michael Jordan or LeBron's level. They're just not. Doesn't mean there couldn't be. Eventually, sure, maybe. But they're fucking giants. It's a little hard. What the fuck?
But if an NBA player was "Oh, I'm transitioning," I don't think they should be allowed to go directly to the WNBA.
I agree with you.
I don't believe that's fair. You can come for me. That's not fair. It isn't, because they've been playing at that level with that much testosterone in them
for that long.
Since they were a child. Right. You can't just be okay, I'm going to the WNBA.
I mean, and again, I stand by this statement. The transgender argument in sports, trans folks in sports, wherever you fall on that argument, I will just say this politically. Conservatives are almost 100% wrong about everything they say about it. Almost 100% wrong. Liberals are almost 100% wrong about what they say. So
from
many
the
of you
far left, where they're just insanely they should be able to play.
Come on,
no, nigga,
you don't
how it works.
The amount of people it's the right is weird hatred shit, and I'm don't do that. Like, you can disagree without just being a piece of shit. So like, it's all hatred shit. And then, and also like, just assuming they understand science. They don't even believe in science. Knock it the fuck off. And then people on the left half understand science, and you don't know what the fuck you're talking about either. Like, shut up. Because I hear people say shit and I'm like, you're not correct about that. Like, you're not. So it's like, please, both people, just shut the fuck up. Let's just shut up. It's way more complicated than either side pretends it is. So like,
I know the NCAA.
Yeah, it is.
They're saying as long as you're doing a hormone replacement therapy for a year.
Yeah, that's how a lot of Olympic sports are now.
Yeah, they're saying as a year is good enough. I'm like, no, it's not. But okay.
Well, it's like not. A lot of Olympic sports say that you're like, if you're male to female, then you have to have a threshold of like a certain amount of testosterone, like nanograms per deciliter. But the number is extremely high for a woman, like for a cisgender woman. It's not. They're not like a high testosterone for a woman's like 70 nanograms per deciliter. It's 200 if you're a transitioning male to female. That's still insanely high compared to a cisgender woman. That's not an anti-trans argument. That's a science argument. Those are numbers. Sorry. This is the facts, right? So like, again, people on the left half understand the science and say a lot of shit that they don't understand. And then people on the right are just like, that's weird. I don't like it, Jesus. Which is also a stupid fucking argument. Like, just stop. Just both of you stop. Like, yeah, but it is way more complicated. It's just way more complicated. Prime example is like, dude, it's not going to hurt your kid if they got to compete against somebody who might be better than them. Like, it's okay. That's a problem. At the same time, I don't think Brock Lesnar should fucking transition tomorrow and fight women. That's fucking crazy. Like, it's crazy. Just saying.
Both like he would have to be on HLT for like 40
years, yo. 40 years. Brock Lesnar can fight after 40 years. Get the fuck out of here. That nigga's been on. He's got more drugs in his system than he has blood in his system. Like, get out of here. So no, it's just complicated, and that's what I'm saying. This could not happen with an honest, genuine conversation as a comedy. Like, not by these people. Don't do that. Don't do it. Stay away from it. And just stop being a piece of shit to people who want to play sports. Like, it's fine.
Look, DJ, fortune favors the bold. Go ahead. And
Michael's trying to lead your ass down the wrong path.
I did. I want to see what happens. I think the conversation needs to happen.
It does need to happen. It don't need to happen in
Juwanna Man. If Juwanna Man can foster this conversation, this could be the biggest. This could be the biggest boon or the biggest boondoggle for Miguel Nunez's entire career.
I mean, look, if he's the guy to get America to actually have a real salient conversation, I'd love to see it happen. But I don't think so. I think you have a better opportunity to have a conversation that I think we can all get around, is that dogs shouldn't be allowed to play basketball in Air Force 4. I think it's a better fucking argument. People will be more. If
he does, this is going to be such a disaster. I can't wait to see it.
You know what? Go for it.
Fuck it. Why not?
Just go. Just blow your whole whatever's left of your career.
Like Paramount Plus. It's fine. Whatever.
Oh my god.
Or Hulu.
What the fuck?
Isn't White Man Can't Jump going to be on Hulu?
Yeah.
Just put it on Hulu. It'll be fine. Don't waste your money in the theater.
Oh no! Don't do that.
No, but you gotta only in theaters. That's what that
only in theaters. That movie's gonna make 14 cents.
Give him the 45-day fucking.
They gonna put that shit in. That shit will be on streaming in 3 days. They're like, you know what? We made a grave mistake. Our bad.
Yeah, just put it in theaters. So it can get Oscar contention, right? So it can be eligible. And then Shazam it, right? Just pull a Shazam and just put it out 2 weeks after it gets released in theaters.
They got that shit the fuck out of here. By the way, you know what? If they're gonna do it, go a serious route and just make it black and white. Like, surprise everybody. It's like Schindler's List.
Yeah. Make it a silent movie.
No video.
Just have to read cards.
Completely silent. All right.
Oh
next up,
man,
Stallone
is back for more high altitude excitement. The Rocky and Rambo star will reprise his iconic role. Is it iconic?
It is.
I mean, I know
Gabe
everybody
Walker's
likes
an
Cliffhanger.
iconic role. Don't you do that?
Nah, Gabe Walker. That's his name. Gabe Walker doesn't really have the same ring as Rocky or Rambo.
Or Marion Cobretti, you fucking asshole. That's a clap.
Here's the thing. I just saw that entire movie about 3 months ago for the first time in my life. It's not a fucking iconic role.
No,
the movie itself,
not,
the movie itself it's a fun time. It's a fun time. I enjoyed myself.
I love.
It's got Leon in it, right?
Yeah, he was the enemies. He was one of the bad guys.
It's got Leon in it.
That was fucked up.
Yeah, he got straight murked.
Hey, what's his name? Who else? John Lithgow was the bad guy. He was chewing up scenery in that movie. It was great.
Oh, he absolutely was. Holy shit.
It was fun. It was a fun time, but like, again, who asked for a cliffhanger? Yo, Sylvester Stallone is 79 years old.
It's insane.
He's old as shit.
Yeah, I don't
He's
need...
almost 80?
Yes.
He's mad old, damn.
God damn.
Old as he.
I didn't realize he was almost. I didn't realize he was almost 80 years old, man.
He's 76 years old. Right, he's old as fuck.
Look, his age don't have nothing to do with it for me. I just the nerve for them to say that like this is an iconic. No, it's not. Yo.
Yes, it is.
No, it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
In
I know you like
pantheon
this is top tier Stallone for me.
Is it? What are your favorite Stallone? No, Cliffhanger is fun. Like I saw like the
it's definitely not a top tier movie for him, but it's a fun ride.
When's the last time y'all seen the original Rocky?
I don't know.
It's been a very, very long time. The movie, the Oscar-winning Rocky.
The Oscar-winning Rocky that he wrote.
Yeah,
he's an Oscar-winning writer. I saw that for the entirety of that movie for the first time a couple months ago. It's pretty good. Like, I don't know if you remember the boxing sequences. There's no sound. There's no actual. They didn't put any they didn't filter in any like boxing sounds where like they sound like thunderous punches. It doesn't sound like they're hitting each other in that movie. It's really fucking weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
So it's like watching a boxing match?
Yeah, from
it's like watching a boxing match, but like even in boxing matches, you can hear the punches, right? Like you can't really hear anything. It's fucking strange. I'm like, ew. Like there's nothing to signify that these niggas are hitting each other. It was very weird, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, that movie is way more about.
They rectified that.
Yeah, it's way more about like the man than it is than the boxing, right?
And it's actually very good. It is. It's a good movie. I don't know what it beat back in like what is that 77 or something like that.
Yeah,
but it's good. Anyway,
1976.
Which is
best
how old
original screenplay. Wow,
that's wild.
Yeah. All right. Look, I'm sorry. Cliffhanger is not. We don't need another cliffhanger. Like quite frankly, if you're gonna give me another cliffhanger, you need to give me another Demolition Man. You need to give me another Demolition Man.
I would be okay with that. I would be more.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Because
Demolition Man is more iconic. I will give you that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. His fucking name is John Spartan. That's a name, not Gabriel Walker. What the Gabriel Walker?
No,
Gabe?
See, you're being mean by adding Gabriel. His name is Gabe.
No, Gabriel Walker. Gabriel Walker sounds like he works at Whole Foods. John Spartan sounds like he's gonna pull you over and beat you. Like give me another Demolition Man. That's what I
reboot.
It's not really a reboot. It's not like even if when you read the article, it's like it's not a reboot. Like he's coming back playing the same role. Yeah. So
I mean, 30 years later.
Yeah, it sounds like Stallone will get help summiting the mountain this time because the production says its casting is currently underway for the lead to headline the film's ensemble cast.
Ensemble cast. I did see him in Tulsa King on that Paramount
How is that
Plus show. Entertaining.
He's
very entertaining.
But he's like the main dude, right?
Yeah, he's the main guy. He gets released from prison after doing like a 30-year bid or some shit like that, 30-year bid. Yeah. And he moves to Tulsa. Like he did some time for like a mafia boss.
Yeah.
And they move him to Tulsa so they can like get the drug game running in there. And he's like this tough guy. He's entertaining. Like you can't understand a word he's saying, but he's entertaining. You know?
That's fair. It's kind of how he's
just an entertaining guy. But like I don't see him climbing mountains, you know? Like, why the fuck is he still doing his job 30 years later? I wouldn't trust him to save my life. He's 76.
Well, neither could that woman at the beginning of Cliffhanger.
Yeah, she died. Yeah. I think it was fucking 30 years. He was in his 40s and he still didn't save her life. I'm not trusting an 80-year-old to do that shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, I appreciate, like, I'm not here to be an ageist, right? I appreciate the fact that these older actors still want to do these action movies, but like,
yeah, sure.
At some point, like your character has to retire, yo. Like I can't imagine working at 76 years old. I just, especially if I have to climb mountains. I don't
look. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible since he blew up in a helicopter crash. But if we can figure out a way to bring John Lithgow back for the second movie, he's 1,000 years old. Do it.
They're probably the same fucking age.
They probably
Which is crazy.
How old is Stallone?
He's a year older than Stallone.
Yeah, he's a year.
That's nuts, dude.
Nah, bring John Lithgow back, man. He's
oh shit. Yeah, he was really good in that movie. I don't see it. Like,
he was almost the Joker.
It's made by John Lithgow.
Yeah, he was almost the Joker.
In which movie?
I think he was considered instead of Jack Nicholson.
Wow, that'd be a different movie. God,
I mean, have you ever seen Ricochet? You ever seen that with Denzel Washington?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of a Batman. It's a Batman Joker story.
Huh. Okay, so the people doing Angel Has Fallen in Greenland are supposed to be doing it. I mean, those are entertaining movies. Greenland is more entertaining than it had any right to be, honestly.
Yo, that was a good ass movie. I'm not gonna lie, yo. It's a weird.
It was shocking.
It's because it's not about the disaster. Like, guy was trying to save his family.
Yeah, it wasn't really an action movie. It was like hey, I need to save my family, and this is what would happen if the world blew up. In a kind of a realistic fashion. I'm like, oh.
I watched that movie. I started watching that movie like 11 o'clock at night. I was like, I'll be asleep by 11:30. And it was like 1 o'clock, and I'm like, why am I so riveted? This movie makes no sense. But yeah, Greenland is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
I was surprised. That was a sleeper Gerard Butler fucking hit. All right, look, I'm here for it. He's not on this episode, but I know Brad would be equally as excited because he also loves Cliffhanger because he's a real American.
You know what he would love more? Another Demolition Man.
He would. That's true. I
feel like everyone would love another Demolition Man. Why has there not been a sequel?
You bring Snipes back for that, or you do a different person?
If he still,
who cares?
If he can still go.
Who gives a fuck?
I thought they.
Yeah, if he can still
hit him with
he decapitated him. He hit him with he was standing in like some water or something, and he hit him with the ice MacGuffin, right? Fucking Sub-Zero came and was just like, right, and he froze him, and then John Spartan was hanging on to this thing because you got to flex while you got to flex your arms while you kicking someone's head off, and he kicked his head off and gave some stupid pun.
Nah, I feel like you could bring him back.
Nah, bring him back.
Bring him back. Clone.
Just bring him back with like
clone him.
Yeah, or just bring him back, fix his head.
Nah, his head shattered. His head shattered, yo. It shattered. It was a Sub-Zero fatality, yo.
That's right.
He is done.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, just clone him. Yeah, that's fine. Just clone him. And put him back in the same rubber tire Goodyear elephant armor that they wore in that movie. Fuck it. I don't care.
Yeah, bring Huxley back. She looks the same. She ain't changed in fucking 40 years.
Yeah, she really hasn't changed.
She looks better than all of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
All right, relax.
Bring back Jesse Ventura.
Is he still alive?
I think he's still alive.
Yeah, he is.
Well, you know something, McMahon? I'm still alive and I'm still kicking and I'm a libertarian now, so I'm a weirdo. Like, oh, okay, buddy. All right.
Oh, he's 71. Okay. He's
younger than Stallone. He's ready.
God damn. You don't look it.
No, he does not. He is aged like a banana.
Wow.
All I see is a bunch of slack-jawed people that I understand their sexual preference, but it's okay because it's 2023 and I can't say that anymore.
Yeah, that's one of the wildest lines ever uttered in an action movie. Like,
oh my goodness,
bro, this is not going to age well.
Brad has a shirt. Brad has a Sexual Tyrannosaurus shirt that I think says that entire line.
No.
Trying to throw
that'd be a wild shirt to wear. Like, don't wear that.
Like, what are you doing? It's like, don't worry. Don't worry about it.
Like, I'm trying to get into a fist fight. I can see that. I can see that. I don't like shirts with as much as I'm not a prude. I don't like shirts that have cursing on them. Like, my wife bought me a shirt.
I've never been very partial to that either. It's weird.
Yeah, like my wife bought me a shirt that had a curse word on it. I was like, I don't like wearing it out. Like, I'm just like, no.
It's like, I don't want to wear this. You probably looked at it like, the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, I was like, why did you buy me this? Like, don't you know me? Have I ever worn a shirt that has the word motherfucker on it? That seems weird. When have you ever seen? I won't even wear a shirt that says like bitch. Like I don't. Yeah, there's something very crass about that. Like I don't have a problem.
Yeah, it's also very look at me, right? Look at me.
And then you're forcing your behavior on to other people to read it. Like I don't like that. Like, I'll call
that's
you
one of those things where, like, if
like,
you're out with your kids and you see somebody with a shirt like that, you're like, now why you got to do that?
Right? Like it's kids.
I don't want to see that. The fuck? But then,
suck
like,
my
you
dick.
Look like
why are you wearing that? Like, what the fuck? What's your problem? It's so fucking weird. It's weird.
I found no shirts. Again, like, I curse like a fucking sailor, but like, I don't want to, like, broadcast that to the world on my shirt. That's just strange to me. But
yeah, I don't get it.
It's their own.
Yeah, I've just that's just never been a thing. I like. It's you know that meme. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson where he's like, "Whoa," and it's like, "Oh, we got a smart guy over here," or whatever the fucking meme is. That's what the shirt is, but it says like, "Oh," like whatever the meme is. It's like, "Oh, we got like a smart motherfucker over here," or something like that. And I was like, "Why would you buy me the shirt? Like, I'm never gonna wear this out in public. Like, it's just fucking odd." Yeah, I've never worn it out of the house. Like, I will wear it to work in the backyard. This is strange. Next up, Avengers Endgame's directors considering helming Kevin Feige's Star Wars movie, which is in fact really happening. So the Russo brothers are considering directing this movie. I guess Kevin Feige is producing the Star Wars movie. It's not like he's planning on writing it or anything. So
he might have to.
I mean, yeah. Well, we'll see. Okay. I mean, that's fine. Among them,
no, it's not fine. It's not fine. Because the Russo brothers, like, I understand.
Oh, from the Russo brothers.
Like,
okay.
Yeah, I understand we like the Russo brothers for their time in Marvel, but like, you seen any of their other work?
Like, yeah, outside of Marvel movies, my nigga, like,
yeah, kind of not great.
What was the last Netflix movie they did?
The Gray Man.
The Gray Man.
Yeah, yo,
that was a movie that didn't have a plot. It didn't have much of a plot. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's like,
Have you guys watched The Citadel on Amazon yet?
I heard it's not great.
Is that them too?
Yeah, that's them.
I think they produced it.
Oh, really? Okay.
There was one other movie. That starred Chadwick Boseman that I heard wasn't that great. It was 21 Bridges.
Oh, some people watched that movie.
I watched it.
Yeah, I thought they.
I thought they produced it.
I didn't hate it.
Cherry
it wasn't his best.
Did you see Cherry?
I did.
It wasn't terrible.
No, I didn't hate Cherry, but Tom Holland, I didn't hate that movie.
Yeah. When he was like,
I didn't see it.
A meth head or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good movie. I thought. Some people didn't like it, but I think it's like weird to see Tom Holland as like a drug addict and like just not a good wholesome kid. But I thought his performance was actually pretty decent.
He's a very good actor. Like
he is.
Tom Holland's a great actor. He was in that and in that other movie. The fuck was that movie with the crazy religious dude in it?
Oh, that had it's like Spider-Man, Batman, the Winter Soldier was in it. Like, yeah, on Netflix. I haven't seen that. I heard that was really good.
Yeah, it was. But I don't think that was them. I was just thinking of Tom Holland. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it all depends on the material that they have. If they have Star Wars material, sure. I guess if they're adapting someone else's shit, they're pretty solid.
Yeah,
but their own stuff is hit or miss.
It's kind of like not that I don't want to compare these two for obvious reasons. It's kind of like Zack Snyder. He's very good at adapting other people's stuff. Doing shit himself, not so great.
Yeah,
not so great. Like as long as he's not writing, I have way more confidence. He's writing any parts of it. Rebel Moon, best of luck. No, thank you. Probably not going to be
the end of this year.
Can't wait to see what he does with Star Wars. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, his own Star Wars.
Get ready for the Empire to win.
That's what the movie's about. It's about a ragtag group of people who need to get put down.
It's about a bunch of ragtag individuals that need to fend for themselves against this oppressive government.
And they lose.
That don't come together.
And when they come together, they lose because that's the worst thing they could have done. Idiots.
They should only look out for themselves, and that's it.
Should I have let them die? Maybe.
Maybe. I mean,
that movie's going to be 3.5. That movie's going to be long as fuck.
What,
I feel like they're going to. Yeah, I feel like it's probably going to be like 3 hours long.
Oh, I mean, that zombie movie he did that was fucking terrible was 3 hours.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't see that shit. I didn't watch it
this much.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
It was a cool concept. Fucking stunk. The Super Mario Brothers movie becomes the first $1 billion plus movie of 2023. Remember when people thought this was going to be too woke and that Nintendo was going to go broke? How about that?
And then they immediately pivoted and said that they were making all this money because 2 white men are starring in it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Okay, yo. Okay, that was literally what somebody said. Well, see, 2 white men star in this movie. That's why it's popular.
It's like,
who? Mario?
I guess they're saying like Chris Pratt.
What are we talking about?
Chris Pratt and Charlie Day, because they are 2 white men. Like I was watching a video of a guy who was giving these fools a proper dressing down, and he's playing clips of these whack jobs. And one of those whack jobs smugly looked in the camera and said, well, see, this movie's successful. 2 white men are starring in it. Like he specifically made it inferred that because the movie has 2 white male leads, that's why this is popular. Not the fact that this is a movie coming off of the pandemic, where we are finally going back to movies with an IP that people who are 50 and under know and want to see. Like it
Yeah,
it's Mario, guys.
Yeah, people that don't play video games know who the fuck Mario is.
Right.
And it's a four quadrant
50-year-old fucking it's like a 45-year-old fucking franchise.
Yeah,
like
right.
70s. Like Donkey was in Donkey Kong back in like 79 or some shit, like, or 80.
Yeah, like late 70s, early 80s. But
right.
not only that, like it's also still made by a Japanese company. So okay. Starring two white men, I guess. I'm sure people were like, hey, who are the voice actors? That's really important to me. Nobody cared.
Right.
No one cared. I guarantee you, no one cared.
People that just go watch movies just to watch them don't know that Charlie Day is playing fucking Louis.
They don't know who the fuck Charlie Day is.
That's what I'm saying. They don't know who he is. They just want to see Mario.
Who Chris Pratt is either. If you're like, oh, he's in Guardians, they'd be like, oh, okay, maybe they know that, right? Maybe. If two black male actors were playing Mario and Luigi, guess what? Mario still would have made $1 billion because it's the fucking Mario franchise. It would not have mattered.
I feel like it'd be a wildly different movie when they could play Mario.
But I want two niggas to play it. Like Mario played by like Bokeem Woodbine. And Luigi played by Wood Harris. That's my movie.
Yo, look, 100%. Like Wood Harris is tall, Bokeem Woodbine is short.
Yeah, like
it would be perfect.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd watch the shit out of it.
I don't know, yo. For some reason, I always like imagine like Luigi being voiced by Busta Rhymes for some strange reason. Hey, yo, Mario! You know what I mean? Like it just is like, like I don't know, yo.
That's fine. You know what? Busta Rhymes can play Waluigi, as far as I'm concerned. That works for me.
That would be even better. Yeah.
Hey, yo,
we gotta cast the Black Mario movie, yo. We gotta cast
Busta Rhymes as Luigi is fucking hilarious. And guess what? A white person is playing Donkey Kong because fuck y'all. Like how about
that?
Which black person played Gorilla? Nobody, nigga. Fuck out of here. Because the whitest, it'll be Seth Rogen again. Shut up.
Just high as shit.
Oh shit.
All the time. But that's pretty funny.
That's impressive, man. The first video game to ever make $1 billion. That's okay. Like we made it. We finally made it, right?
Indeed. I got to imagine.
Last of Us knocked it out of the park earlier this year.
Yeah, that's
Mario Brothers, Sonic 1 and 2.
Yep.
I'm actually more impressed with I'm impressed with The Last of Us, but not really, because like The Last of Us is a glorified like television show. The video game is a glorified television show anyway. Mm-hmm. These video game movies that have absolutely zero plot are and making doing well like this, that is impressive to me, because like you have to like there's a story. Mario goes into a warp pipe and saves the princess, right? Like that's the general story for the Super Mario game, right?
Right.
And to develop some sort of apparently coherent story out of a guy from Brooklyn, essentially just doing drugs, right? Like he's just on a bender, right? Like he's doing mushrooms and smoking flowers and seeing stars and thinks he's invincible and shit. Like that nigga is on some kind of like mushrooms and weed and bath salts, right? Like he's on some shit, yo. Thinking that this tall blonde princess is into you, like when you're short and squat from Brooklyn and you're a plumber, and like this dude is on drugs, right? But for them to be able to create a story out of it is pretty astounding to me.
It's pretty impressive, and it takes very good writing. Speaking of which,
best of luck with all that. Quantum of Solace 2 is on the is getting made over at the Broccoli residence. Well, the writer's strike has hit Hollywood. Apparently, it's cost Hollywood, I think, $10 billion just in the first day or two.
Yeah, I heard that it has cost Hollywood more than it would be if they were to just acquiesce and give the writers what they
wanted. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, how much? No, do y'all like money that much that you're willing to they do, but this is all about money, right? But
at this point, I think at this point it's about keeping the proletariat in check.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about as far as the proletariat. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep as much money as possible, but they lost so much by not just giving people a fucking fair wage. The fuck,
right? But they don't want to do that, right? They don't want to give an inch, right? Because if you give an inch, they're gonna take an inch, right? And apparently you can't do that.
Well, it's funny because apparently David Zaslav, who runs WB, he got paid $250 million this past year, and they're asking for less than that in total. Can we just get that for all the writers? And he was like, no.
Can we just be able to pay our bills?
He's like, please? No, I don't have enough money.
Well,
shut up.
Well, he doesn't give a fuck because he doesn't give a fuck about writers because all his garbage shows don't need writers. It's all fucking reality TV bullshit. He doesn't care.
Correct. That's correct.
That's why Max is going to have the 2 sections or whatever the fuck when it comes out next month or whenever.
I can't wait to see season 2 of Last of Us. That is just a reality show where they just pit Pedro Pascal against real zombies just to see what'll happen. Change up the format. So after weeks of negotiations,
don't that happen every couple years? I mean, it happened in 2007, but didn't it happen before that too?
There might have been one before, but I don't remember the year.
Okay.
Anyway, after weeks of negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, talks have broken down over multitude of topics, including the proliferation of small, high-intensity writers' rooms called mini-rooms, the industry's approach to AI, the minimum basic agreement for writer salaries, according to a proposal by the Writers Guild of America, running down its request and the PTT or AMPTP offer. So I have some of those offers, which is kind of interesting here. Here's a couple of their proposals: 6%, 5%, or 5% for all minimum, including residual basis. Streaming features with a budget of $12 million or more receive full theatrical terms, including better initial compensation and residuals. They counter-offered with made for home box office video on demand programs, 96 minutes or more with a budget of $40 million or more will receive a 9% increase to initial compensation, no improvement on residuals. So a big part of all of this is the writers want residuals, right? Hey man, I'm writing on this show and, The Last of Us or something like that is doing big money, but I'm not getting anything. Basically, I'm not getting anything on the back end while you guys are making a shit ton of money. They do want to increase weekly pay, 50% pay upon commencement, and remaining 50% to be paid out weekly over the writing period. Applies if writer is paid less than 250% of minimum. Writers above this threshold have the right to opt in to weekly pay. The Motion Picture Association just rejected that proposal out of hand and refused to make a counteroffer. Establish minimums for streaming, extend television Apex A terms to high budget shows made for video on demand, including weekly minimums, 13-week guarantees, and residuals based on aggregate. So, yeah, they basically, they're writing on these shows. They're continuing to write on these shows as they're coming out, and they want to be compensated more, and they want to get residuals when these stuff does incredibly well. I
don't see the fucking problem.
No, and I think they have a lot of leverage, actually, right? Because this article goes on to mention, it's in Vulture, the biggest leverage they have is they just got to stick it out until the fall season. What you gonna do? You gonna have all those? You gonna put on no new shows in the fall season? Nah, you're not gonna do that. So,
they probably have a backlog of stuff, right? But I can't imagine that stuff is one, good, or two, they have a lot of it. I can't imagine that they have a lot of it.
What are we in? May?
You got to start writing shit for the fall right now.
Right.
May 4th.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't be surprised if you see that Batgirl movie pop back up.
I want to see that movie, honestly.
I want to see it. Yeah. I want to see it. But if they need content.
Yeah,
it ain't deleted. They got it.
Right. They just keep that stuff on the back burner and use it to like, hey, you want to see it? Sign up for Max or whatever. Right. Look, man, I'm not here to side with these big ass movie studios. Like, you got nothing. You got nothing without people to write it. Now, look, here's where AI comes into the picture, right? Like, did we start seeing AI scripts get written? Like Chat GPT scripts get written?
I wouldn't recommend it.
You should see it, but I don't think that'd be good.
No, they're not ready.
It'd just be a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's crazy. Like, nah, like, yeah, we just do this and we'll put this out there. And people will be like, what happened to the quality of this shit? Like, it happened 15 years ago in 2007. Like you said, Quantum of Solace. Like, they had a script, they had to, and didn't fucking what's his name have to finish it?
Yeah, Daniel Craig.
Or like, Daniel Craig he's not a writer. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, you need writers to write good material because there's a lot of garbage television out there. But like, the good television is good actors, and the material that they are given is very good.
Yep,
because they have good writers.
Here's my thing, right? Like, I kind of need actors to step up and like be on the side of their writing brethren, right?
Yeah, you better.
Like, I need them to come out and just be like, look, no, we support workers' rights, right? Like, and I need some of them to be like, look, if I got to take a bit of a hit, then I'll take a bit of a hit to kind of get this train going again. But
they don't want to get blackballed.
Right, exactly. So I get it, man.
This is a situation where, like, you know, when Colin Kaepernick took a knee, right?
Right.
Like, if everyone took a knee, they would have a bit of a problem. They really couldn't fire him, but like, they're dependent on that money. So they were like, I don't want to get thrown out because I took a knee because of this nigga. But like, if every actor who are basically the backbone of Hollywood, like, people come to see certain actors. Like, if the biggest actors are like, nah, fuck that, we side with these niggas, and it's enough of them, yeah, they'd be like, okay.
And directors, by the way, right? Because if,
like, again,
if Martin Scorsese, if Martin Scorsese and, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio came out and were like, you know what, we stand with those writers. One, you get a bunch of other actors and directors who would go with them. That's all you need. Would you not going to make a Martin Scorsese film? Steven Spielberg comes out, you're not going to make a Spielberg film? Of course you are. I'm not going to see it, but you can make it. Like Fablemans, get out of there. But if you had those big names come out, then yeah. Like, I think you're right. Like, that's always been my argument about the Colin Kaepernick thing. Like, if his entire team or every black NFL player, so 95% of the fucking NFL, if they had all taken a knee,
yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? We're going to fire anybody who does it. Cool. Fire the entire Cowboys fucking lineup. Go ahead. I dare you. Right?
But then it might be a Budweiser situation, right? People will start burning jerseys or not watching football. Like, yes, you're going to watch football. Shut the fuck up. You're going to continue to watch football.
Yeah.
Whole team meals.
What are you going to do?
You're going to not watch your favorite team. You're lunatics. You will watch your team because you love sports so much. But yeah, like, I saw them at the Met Gala. Some people were interviewing some of the celebrities. And all of them is like, yeah, we stand with the writers. I know what's her name, the chick that does Abbott Elementary. She's a writer. She's in the WGA. She's like, yeah.
Oh, Quincy Brunson?
Yeah, but that's her show also. So, like, you know. But she writes for the show as well. But she's like, yeah, I stand with my writers. And all of the late night talk shows are about to go dark because the writers are on strike. And Seth Meyers is a writer. He's like, yeah, we're doing dark. I stand with my writers because I wrote for SNL for fucking years. So I know what it feels like. I was a writer in SNL in 2007 when we went on strike. Yep. So some of these people are like, yeah, this is fucked up. So hopefully enough of them will be like, yeah, this is...
But they need to do it. I mean, doing it at the Met Gala is like, okay, but also seems a little like garish. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm dressed in this large gown. I stand with the proletariat. Like, it doesn't really work. Eating caviar, man. Like, I'm starving over here. Like, so they need to come out much more publicly about that.
I think enough of them are actually standing with the writers because, again, if you don't have good writing, like, you don't have a show. I mean, you do, but like,
look, man, even if you got bad writing, like it's still something. Like,
well, no, that's what you get if you don't have writers. You get the fucking end of
you're gonna get real bad writers.
You're gonna get actors trying to do it.
Right. That's what the fuck happened with Heroes. That show started out excellent, and then niggas went on strike.
Oof.
And they were like, never
recovered. It never recovered. Are we sure it was a writer's strike? Because I feel like they were striking even when no one else was striking. God damn, that show.
What movies came out in 2007 that were like awful? I mean, Transformers came out, but that didn't.
That had nothing to do with the writer's strike. I guarantee you. That might have helped.
That doesn't.
So look, I do think it's. Look, I think we all stand with the writers and like, if you're getting underpaid and you can't pay your rent, like that's unacceptable, right? The movie and television industry, like you said, is wholly dependent on good writing. Like, I think a lot of time, I mean, we review movies and talk about films and stuff like that, but people often they focus way more on directors and actors. Like, none of that shit would come together without a proper script. Like, it just wouldn't. It is the thing that you need the most in order to make a good film. No one has ever made a great film out of a bad script. They just haven't. You need it. That's why they do rewrites. Somebody's got to write the words down. So, yeah. Best of luck to the writers.
Silver Surfer came out in 2007. Spider-Man 3 came out in 2007. Ghost Rider came out in 2007.
Not looking good. Not looking good for this writer strike, guys. We don't need any more of that shit.
Yikes.
Let's jump to trailers this week. We don't have any what the fuck stories, unfortunately. Micah, you're up. I'm sorry. We're doing trailers. Never mind. Sorry, my brain stopped working there for a second.
Part 2. I didn't finish the first one. This looks really fucking dope. I mean, it looks amazing.
First one's good
visually. I tried to finish, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, Dune Part 2, or as the Onion said, it picks up right where you fell asleep in Dune 1.
I don't think it does. I fell asleep like an hour in and never finished it.
But if you did make it through Dune 1, which I did, this is a trailer for Dune 2. Look, I think it looks great. Like, visually, the first one was really impressive. I'm going to watch the first one right before I watch this because I want to watch them sort of back to back.
I'm going to try to finish the first one.
I feel like you kind of have to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To really kind of know what the fuck is going on. But yeah,
because that first movie is literally one half of a movie. It's like,
where it ends.
Like, hey, we're getting ready to go on this journey, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and look, the movie is great. I was riveted by it throughout my time watching it. I forget how long it was, but it's such a cock tease because it's like, hey, here's Zendaya. All right, Zendaya, let's get going, and then the movie goes off. It's like, oh shit, like there's a whole nother part to this movie. So.
I think it looks fun. Next up, a movie that isn't really coming out. I don't even know. The Outlaw Johnny Black. This is the follow-up to Black Dynamite. This time it's a Western. I don't want to get excited for this because I don't know when this is actually happening. Like, is it actually happening?
Look.
I mean, we got a trailer, so it's... September 15th. September 15th is when it's
so they do have a date. Okay.
Yes. Exclusively in theaters.
Okay.
I am into this, man. Look, I like Black Dynamite. I like Black Dynamite a lot.
Yes.
And and these and I'm glad that Bullhorn is essentially telling you what this is, right? Like, it's from the people that brought you Black Dynamite, including the cast, right? Like, it's this weird world where there's Michael Jai White plays an actor who's playing Black Dynamite, and now that actor, who apparently was a football player for the Colts, the Baltimore Colts, is now playing the Outlaw Johnny Black. So look, I want a good spoof Western. I hope this is really good. I hope it's funny. We'll see.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one of those movies. This is another one of those movies that's like, I'm seeing these people who are dressed like Native Americans. Man, I hope they are Native American actors. Because
but if you're doing a spoof, you got to make them white. Like, it just make them ridiculous, like, or just Puerto Rican.
I mean,
no, people don't have a sense of humor. I get.
To quote another Western spoof, they're morons.
common clay of the New West.
That movie's so good.
It's fucking hilarious.
I can't wait. Black Dynamite is one of my favorite movies. That shit is so funny. I can watch that movie from beginning to end whenever it comes on.
It's pretty goddamn funny.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty good. It took them fucking 14 years, but finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were talking about this a long time ago.
Yeah,
man.
5-6 years ago. God damn.
Yeah, like they teased it like 5 and 6 years ago. We're working on it. I'm like,
if you miss a line,
sorry. Last but certainly not least, the trailer for Gran Turismo. You know what? I'm going to let you two handle this. You're the video game people. You tell me what the fuck is happening here.
You'll let us handle it.
I don't know. Yep. I played Gran Turismo 1 and
I'll tell you what's going on. I'll tell you what's going on. The thing about this is that back in 1989, they at least had the class to the artistic integrity to not just tell you that this is a commercial by naming it after the product, right? In 1989, there was a little movie called The Wizard, which was essentially a commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3. Right. It was a commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3. It was a commercial for the Power Glove. It's so bad. Right?
That thing was a piece of shit.
But it at least had the decency to make you think that it was a movie and not just a commercial. This is literally just a commercial. It's a 90-minute commercial. And this thing has the nerve to be like based on true events. Folks, there's like
what true events?
Exactly. Like it's based on an incredible true story. Okay, but like no it isn't, right? Like whenever a movie says it is based on or inspired by, you can imagine that a great number of liberties are being taken with this. The plot of this is that someone is into playing Gran Turismo, and he likes it so much that he becomes an actual racer.
So the idea here is that like some sort of evil billionaire played by Orlando Bloom, or a good billionaire, I can't tell. They're all evil.
They're all evil.
By the way, this is directed by Neil Blomkamp. So
that bodes well.
Yeah, that does bode well. The idea is, again, based on a true story. That's ridiculous. This kid is really good at playing video games, and so this billionaire is like, hey, I'm going to run a secret contest. The top nerds who play my game, they'll get to be brought to drive for real in Gran Turismo. And so he gets chosen because he's one of the top dorks. And he leaves his mom's basement and he goes. And then he becomes a really good race car driver. In real life, that's how good he is at the video game. Okay, that's cool.
I'm reading his I'm reading who it's supposed to be based off of on the Wikipedia page, Jan Mardenborough. I don't see anything about him playing video games. Oh no, he was racing in 2013 in a simulation, and he won. And he actually did race a real car.
Nah. This is like saying LeBron James played NBA Live as a child, and now that's why he's good at basketball. No, it's not because he played live.
No. It's like saying LeBron James played NBA Jam and now he's playing basketball. Get the fuck out of here. This is ridiculous.
Huh. I don't know if this is like video game or real racing. What the fuck is happening right now? It's a British professional.
See, you're falling for it. You're falling for the commercial. You're falling for the commercial.
I gotta
it looks so real.
I gotta see it.
It looks so real.
You don't want to see this movie?
Look, this is not for me, but
what? Are you serious?
This is not for me. Yes, I'm very serious because I have an irrational hatred for Gran Turismo. Because in Gran Turismo 2, right? You keep all your saves on a memory card, right? In Gran Turismo 2, I had like 89% completion in that game, right? You got to get licenses, you got to play these endurance races and all that. It's a lot of work, right? I had about 80-something%. My sister deleted my memory card because she was mad at me. And then I just was like, I'm never playing another Gran Turismo again.
But that's not the game's fault. And maybe if you try hard enough.
It is. Nope, it is. Just like Terrence will never buy anything from eBay. Terrence will never buy anything from eBay.
I bought fucking Devil May Cry 2 from eBay. I've never bought another product from eBay because that game fucking sucked. It wasn't eBay's fault.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm so fucking mad, yo.
Well, if you tried hard enough, Micah, you too could have become a real sports racer. That's definitely what they would do from a liability standpoint. They'd put a kid in a fucking $1 million race car and just let him go.
Yeah, this kid is not like, wow, you're really good at it. Like this is, this premise was in another movie. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was a movie starring Samuel L. Jackson, and Kenan Thompson was in this movie, and it was all about reptiles on a plane.
I was going to say that's the only movie I can think of.
And they got rid of the snakes, right? They got rid of the snakes on those monkey fighting snakes on that Monday to Friday plane, right? But they didn't know how to land. And Kenan Thompson was like, I can land a plane because he played Microsoft Flight Simulator. No, yo.
I assume they crashed and everyone died.
Right? Then they made it like, nah, yo. Nah.
Are you fine? You're fine. Also, I like in this world of professional racing, like some people race, some people are in like GTRs and other people are in some other low profile cars because that's how racing works. Everyone gets to just drive whatever they want. Just whatever car. Like, you want to bring your fucking Nissan? I'll bring my Lamborghini. Whatever. I guess you got more points in the last race, so you have more money. Not how racing works. Like, but okay. I'm going to see this movie, though. I'm not going to lie.
Look, in all seriousness, for what it is, just a big-ass commercial, it looks like the best commercial for this game I've ever seen.
It's a clever concept. It's dumb, but it's a clever concept.
I don't know.
No, it's just true. I'm looking at the fucking ESPN story. This nigga did the shit. It is true. No, what happened was he went in a contest and he won out of 90,000 participants. They let him drive a Nissan and he did so well. Like, he's been in a bunch of real races. I don't think he's won, but he's still racing.
Well, why don't I just shut the fuck up?
Right.
2021
to 2022. Oh, this was a simulation driver. But yeah, he's been in several real world races over the last 10 years because he was a gamer that used to play fucking Gran Turismo. It is based off a true story.
That's insane.
Yeah. Well then, truth is stranger than fiction. Jesus. All right. I stand corrected.
I looked it up on YouTube. It says from gamer to race car drivers. Sports Center presents.
Now we have to see it because it's a documentary. It's a documentary.
No, I ain't gotta do all that. I can't wait for the next wave of America's finest freedom fighters to join the military because they're really good at Call of Duty.
Like they say, if you could drive in GT, like you can, like if you have that rig like that fucking Brad has, I don't know where he get all this fucking money from. I think that nigga's embezzling fucking stolen goods or something. But he's got like a whole wheel setup, right? And he just bought a PC. The fuck? It must be good to be white.
Yeah,
damn.
It must be good.
He got a whole bunch of sexual Tyrannosaurus shirts too. With that one quote on them. It's like, wow, like you are fascinated with that one quote.
Fences watches on the side or something. Yo, like
that's probably
Brad is into some fucking nefarious shit, yo. That nigga stay with money.
I believe
just to buy stuff.
Yeah, I believe it.
Brad
has a Rolex.
It's probably
nobody on this network has a Rolex. Brad has 5. So
it's probably the watch thing. Like in all seriousness, it's probably the watch thing.
Yeah, he has 5 Rolexes. I told you.
There's a story about that John Mulaney tells in his new stand up. Brad is the other guy. Brad is the.
It's really fucking. I forgot. I watched that too. It's really fucking funny.
I have to.
But Brad is going. John Mulaney was going to Brad with those watches.
He was going to Brad the doctor. Oh shit!
Brad is an evil person. Everyone knows this.
What did he say? What's her name? Is sleeping. she's sleeping right now. It's like, okay, all right, I guess. Yeah, you gotta watch that. It's fucking funny.
It's on that. That's actually something I'm going to watch this on Friday because my wife and I will sit down and watch that. All right, that is it for us. We will see you guys next week.
See ya.